Nice to meet you. How you doing?
Yeah, all good, all good, all good, Marty. Well,
Great.
first of all, thank you for the time. It's an honor to have the time to talk with you. So let's start.
Pleasure.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
first of all, um, you're knowing for all the metal hats around the world. But if you know someone who doesn't know Marty Friedman, how can you describe yourself and your music nowadays?
Huh. Huh. That's so hard. Because you never really have to do it. I would rather I'd let someone like you say that than me because I wouldn't even know what to say. I make music and I make my music and I hope you like my music. It's hard to describe it, but it's music.
Yeah, and that's good music. And talking about your music, you like the latest album Drama. It's had a good song, but as a Spanish speaker, it's I can't I can avoid to hear the song Two Rebels or Dos Rebeldes. What was the inspiration for making our Spanish team?
Well, I've always had a wonderful love affair with all Spanish-speaking countries around the world. Made so many friends in different countries in Mexico and Latin America and South America and Spain. And there's just always been a special kind of connection. And I have some very good friends in Colombia in a band called Apollo Siete. And we always talked about doing songs together, and I've recorded on some of their songs, and we just have a really, really good friendship. And when I wrote the song Dead of Winter, I thought this would be a great song to have Apollo Siete sing in Spanish. And they did such a great job with it. And I was just so happy. It's like a kind of a love letter to my Spanish speaking friends around the world, really.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good song, in fact. Yeah, that's really interesting. So, talking about your music career, Marty, you have playing, writing music in the last 20 years, and and living in Japan for a while. So, what is your music approach right now? In if you can't compare with 20 years ago, your composition style, your style to see the music.
I think it's much more refined now. It's much more, I'm much better at it, the process now than 20 years ago. Um, 20 years ago, I wasn't very prepared. I was kind of prepared. I knew what I was going to do when I went into the studio. But now, in the last three, four albums, and especially drama, I spend over a year just working on demos, just demos for at least 12, 16 months. And so by the time I go into the studio to record, I'm so prepared. I've already lived with the music for a year, changed things so many times, change keys, change tempos, change melodies, change arrangements. And if a song lives with me for a couple months without being changed, that kind of tells me that it's correct, it's done, it's cooked, it's finished, it's ready to go. So I didn't used to do that way back a long time ago, but lately I've been spending a lot more time living with the demos and throwing out more things. So by the time the record is done, it's exactly what I want it to be.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool. So, can you say all the time, all these 20 years are really interesting journey, in fact. So, talking about this journey, well, you and your book Dreaming Japanese, you're talking about a lot of stuff in that journey, especially in some part of the book you said you lost your way, especially in the time with Megadeth. What knowledge do you have of that experience, and what kind of knowledge can you share with young musicians around the world?
Yeah, well, I really went into a lot of details in the book about this, because I talked about, of course, the Megadeth experience in very, very great detail, every album, every recording process, every tour, everything in detail. But not only Megadeth, but all of my bands before that, even my high school bands and bands, indies bands, all of those struggles I put in the exact same details that I did with my Megadeth things and my post Megadeth projects and my solo band. So you can really see the inside workings of all of those projects in details, things that I've never explained before, very private things, relationships with people in the band, people around the band. And I think it's going to be fun for people to read about the indies bands as well, because it was such a not stupid, but we do so many things that didn't make sense and were not smart, not good business, and just we were just very illusioned teenagers. And I think it's fun to look back and see all those crazy mistakes that we used to make.
Cool. So let's continue. Well, the last question was about one of your most recognizable solos of your career, which is Tornado of Souls. This solo, you are working with them, you're playing nowadays with them. What is your relationship with that solo today, Marty?
Well, I talked about this in the book as well, but to me, it's exactly like any other guitar solo I've ever played. To me, it's nothing special. It's nothing different. It's nothing unusual. For some reason, people seem to enjoy that. Makes me very, very happy. And I think my best explanation is I think that people have related to it because it's a very long guitar solo. And most normal music fans and music listeners, they don't really listen to long guitar solos very much. So if you can keep their attention for a long time, I think that's what impresses mainstream listeners. If you think of all of the famous guitar solos, Stairway to Heaven, that Pink Floyd song, that Deep Purple song, Freebird, Layla, all of these songs have very long guitar solos, and they seem to be the most famous guitar solos. And I think that's because the soloist has kept the attention of mainstream listeners for maybe 36 bars or some kind of long solo. But to me, it's just, it's a very typical solo of mine, and I'm very glad that people enjoy it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And well, something about the people are enjoying or maybe working today is artificial intelligence, and maybe are working with in a good way, not in a good way, using to making music. What is your perception about the using of AI, especially in music industry?
I think it's very, very interesting. And like every kind of advance in technology, there will be good things and there will be not so good things. But I think the good things will be much more than the bad things. Just like people, there's always going to be a lot of really good people, but there's always going to be some percentage of people who are not so good. And the same thing goes with any kind of technology, not just AI, anything. The internet is something that is so incredibly great that has got me and you, Yesel, talking I'm in Japan, you're in Mexico. We're talking together, and that's just wonderful. But of course, there's some negative things about the internet too. So with I think it's going to help certain things in music, and it's just going to be another obstacle for, the sales of music and the publishing of music. You just have to keep renewing things, but there's no stopping technology. So you might as well try to get the best out of it. And I see it bringing really good things to music in the future.
Yeah, of course. We hope that. And well, talking about other topic, tell me what are listening Marty Friedman right now? What is your influences for making drama and making your music right now?
Um, I'm influenced by everything. I'm mostly influenced by everyday life. I think when you're a teenager, your influences are very directly related to the music you're listening to. When I was a little kid, I listened to Kiss, Black Sabbath, and the Ramones. And then if you listen to my first band, it sounds like Kiss, Black Sabbath, and the Ramones. So it's very close when you're kind of just starting with music. But the more you become an artist and tour around the world and meet people from different cultures and have different experiences, life experiences, those things influence your music much more than other musicians. Of course, other musicians that you meet and that you work with influence the music very much too. But for me, I think it's definitely life experiences and just a natural way of making music is how I created drama and how I've been working for the last several decades.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool. And well, talking about music influence, one of the most bands are listener by Japan. Talking that kind of music, it's baby metal, all that kind of music. And here in this side of the world, it's a love-hate relationship. You can hate it or you can love it. There's no medium side. So what do you think about that relationship with bands like baby metal, more that kind of music here
Are you
in
talking
that?
about
Yes,
are you talking about baby metal from Japan?
yes, that's right.
Okay, yeah. And you said it perfectly. You said you either love it or you hate it. There's no in between. And to me, that's the best because if you love something and other people hate it, it's like it's like a war and you're really proud to stand on one side or the other. And I think that is the heavy metal spirit. I remember that very clearly when I was in junior high school and high school. People hated Kiss. People hated Black Sabbath. And they hated punk rock and the Ramones. But I was so strong a fan of those groups that I loved it. Other people hated it, and it's very important to have that kind of strong love-hate relationship. If it's like, it's okay, everybody kind of likes it, that's like for pop music fans. But heavy metal is a different kind of spirit. And so I would rather someone say, I love Marty's music, or I fucking hate Marty's music. I would rather hear that than, it's okay. I can take it or leave it. You know what I mean? So, I'm very much a big fan of divisive, divisive music. It divides people. And I think baby metal's a good example of that. I understand why people love it. I understand why people hate it. And that's what I like about it.
Yeah, and that's pretty interesting. The relationship with
Yeah.
that kind of music. And well, talking about that, right now, what are your top three guitar players?
Oh God. There's so many good guitar players now. Well, I'm gonna have to choose one of them is in my band. His name is Naoki Morioka. And I'll be completely honest with you. When you're playing music for a living, the people that you choose to be in your band, you become big fans of theirs because not only are they a great musician, but they're there supporting you. They're right there in your band playing what you need them to play. So that immediately raises their status up very high. So I'm going to choose Naoki Morioka. I'll also choose Ichika Nito, who I've done a lot of projects here with in Japan. And I'll also have to say, oh God, there's so many. Um, I can't think of too many off the top of my head, but Ichika and Naoki are just really super.
Yeah, that's cool. And like you said, you're working with a lot of musicians all over the years. There's someone who do you wants to work today?
Ah, there's a lot of producers in Japan that maybe you don't know them, but there's a lot of producers in Japan that I would love to work with at some time. Um, One of them, his name is Tsunku, and one of them is Yasutaka Nakata. It's going to be hard for you to write that, so you can just say Japanese producers. I've worked with a lot of Japanese producers that I love here in Japan, but I'm a big fan of a lot of the big producers here. So some of those guys I like.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool. Well, the next question is about the future of the guitar. You know, the shred guitar had was his good moments in the 80s, then down. Now it's different relationships more with the technology, like we said before. So, what can you say about the future of the guitar? What is your opinion about it?
Guitar is one of those crazy things that it becomes trendy and popular, and then it goes out of style. Then it comes back in style. Then it goes back out of style. It's like a cycle. And I've been very fortunate to survive all of those cycles and just keep doing what I'm doing. But I think the great thing about guitar right now in 2025 is it's something that you actually touch and you make the sounds come out and you sweat on it and you hold it and you shake it and you hit it really hard and you smash it on the stage and you sweat all over it and you bleed all over it. And those aren't things that you can do with a keyboard on a laptop. And so I think a lot of people like being able to be human with a musical instrument. And for that reason, I think guitar will never die. And I think, guitar is more popular now than it was 10 years ago. This is for sure. Um, a lot of people started playing guitar during COVID, and it's really showing up now that there's just so much more young fans of guitar and aggressive guitar, like what I like to play. When I play concerts around the world, there's a lot of young fans in their early teens, even pre-teens. There's people 10, 12 years old, and in their late teens, there's a lot of younger fans than there were like 10 years ago. And so I think right now is a very popular time for guitar. I hope it stays in fashion for a long time.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, talking about your visit to Mexico, I don't know if you are aware about that, but you are playing maybe in 2 or 3 days of difference between Invi Malmsteen and you and here in Mexico City. So it's a really hype about your presentation. How do you feel about visit Mexico City once again?
Mexico City, I have a very, very deep love relationship with Mexico City. As you probably hopefully know, I recorded my live album there,
Yeah.
and it was such a wonderful, wonderful experience. The fans were so warm. And like when you listen to a live album, like your favorite live albums, and it seems like the fans cheer at the best parts of the songs, a lot of that happens in the studio. A lot of that is where the engineer and the producer raise the audience in certain parts to bring out the good parts of the songs. But in Mexico City, it seemed like they did all of that naturally. It's like all of the most exciting parts, they just went crazy and it made me have goosebumps. It's like they knew all of my songs so well, and my songs are instrumental, and they just knew all of these parts of the songs and were singing along, and it was just such a great experience. I was so happy I recorded the live album there. And so really looking forward to coming back there. The band hasn't been in Mexico City or Mexico since COVID, so it's been at least like 5 years, 6 years. So my band is so excited, and I'm so excited to go there and play and eat lots of spicy food and tacos al carbone. And we're just so extremely excited and happy to go.
Yeah, we are all we are excited too. So, what, as a Marty Friedman fan, what can we expect from your show?
I think I don't think I know for sure this is the most entertaining show that my band has ever put on. We've done a lot of touring in the last few years, and we've become such a closely knit family, and we've really kind of mastered the art of making instrumental music entertaining. I think instrumental music on the whole is not very entertaining to watch. Maybe it's nice to listen to, but we've made it entertaining to watch. And I guarantee that you're going to walk away from this concert feeling uplifted, feeling like I'm ready to face the next week. I feel really great about myself. I feel really happy, really positive. It's just something that we've put a lot of energy into and worked hard on really bringing the audience into the band. It's not the band and the audience, it's all of us together in in whatever venue we're playing. And I know for sure it's going to be a miraculous experience for us as well as everyone in Mexico.
Yeah, of course, I know it will be. So they will be there. But well, one more question, but it's not from Mexico, it's from Spain, but we have a lot of forwards there, and they ask us when to Spain, a Marty Friedman show.
Yes, Spain is one of my favorite places in the entire world as well. We've been working on doing a European tour for a long time, but for some reason, the timing is always conflicted with other tours that we're doing. For example, we're playing in South America before Mexico, and there was a chance to tour Europe after we had already booked the South American tour. So that type of thing has been happening for the last 4 years or so. And it's really frustrating because we want to get to Spain and we want to get all over Europe. Um, I miss Europe very much. I recorded my album in Italy, and everywhere I go, people would say, "When are you coming here to play?" And it's not because we don't want to go to Europe, because we love Europe very much, and my whole band is looking forward to going there. But hopefully this year or early next year.
Yeah, we hope your Spanish fan, we can see you soon. Well, Martin, we're almost ending the interview. Just two more questions. The first is what's next for you? Maybe touring all these years, the next year. You have writing new music. What's next for you?
The next thing is, of course, we're touring all over um, Latin America, South America, and we're going to be touring in China next month, and we have shows in Japan in April and May, and some summer festivals. We're doing a lot more Japanese festivals than we've ever done before, which is something I've been trying to put together for a long time. And scheduling is really quite difficult for someone like me because I'm based in Japan and I have a lot of different Japan obligations, musical obligations, and so it's kind of hard to schedule things. But now things are coming together and we're doing a lot more Japanese festivals than ever before. and hoping to tour the U.S. again. We played the U.S. in February of this year, and we did about half of the country. We want to do the other half later. The drama tour is going to be long, and once that's over, I'm going to take a nice break and start working on something new. But for right now, we're just bringing drama to everyone, and it's my favorite album, and it's wonderful to play for everybody.
Yeah, of course, I'm sure of that. And the last question, Marty, what means music in your life?
Music is everything. I really am not very good at anything else. Um, yeah, kind of useless at a lot of things, but I wake up, I think of music, and I work on music, and I prepare to play music, and I prepare to go on tour and talking to you about music, and it's just like from morning till night, it's music. And I knew that for some reason that's what was chosen for me to do because it's very natural. It takes no special energy because it's just normal. And I am very lucky to find the thing that I'm able to do because I'm not good with working on cars or building things or anything. So music is a very central part of my life.
That's pretty cool, Marty. So, well, thank you very much for your time. And only one more thing, please, can you invite to your audience to see the show here in Mexico, please?
Awesome. We're playing three shows in Mexico, Mexico City, Monterrey, and Guadalajara. Now, I've played with my solo band in Mexico City before. It was um, it was magnificent, um, and we've never played in Monterrey or Guadalajara before. I know that I played in Monterrey with Megadeth, but in Guadalajara, I've never played there before, I don't think. But I went there on a study trip a long time ago. I was very interested in studying part of Mexican culture, and I went with a college. I wasn't going to college, but I went with a college study trip to Guadalajara, and it was absolutely fascinating. And I said, one day I'm going to play there. And now that I'm going to have the chance to actually play with my band in Guadalajara. So it's kind of a dream come true for me, and my band is looking very much forward to it. So we can't wait to play there. We can't wait to make everybody say, a huevo, a huevo, a huevo.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what we're going to say when you're finally be there on the stage, a huevo. Well,
They
so
still
thank
say, do they still say a huevo in Mexico?
yeah, yeah, that's right. It's like hell yeah. It's a
Oh, okay.
huevo. That's the meaning of
Oh,
that.
good.
Yeah.